Keiarna is starting to declass the show, and Stacey's little bomb she dropped was such a flop. Let's go ahead and break it all down in today's recap.
But I'll be on it always, always and ever.
Hey queens! Welcome back to my Queen Cave. I'm Shelby, queen of the Queen Cave, and in here I drop recaps and reviews of my favorite TV shows and movies, commentary on topics I find interesting. I'm actually going to do a Queen Chat commentary little series I'm thinking up. It's just going to be me really reflecting on my journey to my highest self that I've been on, that I talked about in my intro video. So I want to touch base on that, give some update on how I've been doing and where I'm at. And I also drop deep dives into Black history, Black culture, and icons that helped shape that culture. If that is your vibe, hit the subscribe. You already know the deal. Today we are recapping The Real Housewives of Potomac Season 10, Episode 4, Tropic Like It's Hot. So we're back in the van where we left off, and Stacey's in her confessional. She's still wondering why Keiarna has such an issue with her. And back in the van, Stacey's like combing her hair, and some of her hair is like touching Keiarna's leg, and Keiarna goes, "Stacey, stop touching me."
Really, nigga?
This is already getting childish. We just started the fucking episode and you're already talking about some Stacey, your hair is touching me, I don't want you on me, scoot over. Like, Keiarna is really trying to put on this performance. Like we keep saying every fucking episode, and it's getting to the point where it's like, bitch, now you're just trying to grasp at straws. There's nothing wrong with what Stacey is doing. You just want to have something to say. It's almost like she just wants to have any type of camera time she can get at this point. So I'm really tired of Keiarna as it is. The girls arrive at Preakness, they take a cute little group photo, and then they go inside to get some drinks. Keiarna goes around to siphon off the money Greg gave her for the girls to bet, and she tells the girls to twerk for their 20, and here goes Stacey, and she's like, I was like, Stacey, yeah, Keiarna said that she needs some change for Stacey's twerk, and I was like, exactly, because I don't know what the fuck that was, Stacey. You deserve a 5, not a 20. So once the girls go off to bed, Wendy and Giselle start gossiping about Angel and her allegedly never graduating from college. Wendy says they never talked. Wendy was 3 years older than Angel. She alleges there was some situation that happened with Angel that resulted in her leaving the school and not graduating. So they're both over here trying to speculate if that was true or not. And Giselle takes that little nugget in her pocket so she can do some digging later. Stacey comes back from the girls that went off to bed, and Wendy's asking her, like, did you go bed? And Stacey was like, no. Keiarna's taking way too long showing the girls how to bet using the machine thing, so she just pocketed her $20. And I'm like, okay, Stacey, you didn't deserve the $20 anyway, but I digress. So the girls finally go off to get some food, and the food looks so bomb. And Stacey starts her little digging, and she asks Ashley if her and Josh are still together. And Ashley goes, I mean, we're back and forth, we're trying to figure it out, but I'm not in a relationship with anyone. Stacey then turns her attention to Giselle, and she asks her, so Giselle, are you dating anyone? And Giselle goes, no. And the girls are like, well, why are you asking her like that? And Stacey tries to cover up, and she goes, oh, nothing, I'm just curious. And Giselle goes, well, Angel actually has somebody lined up for me, she says. And the girls try to start guessing, like, is he dark-skinned? Is he bald? And they think it could be Jamal. And I'm like, Angel knows they were already together, like, let's be so for real. Ashley then changes the subject, and she brings up the time that she called Giselle when Giselle and the girls were at that shop, and she invited Wendy and Giselle over to her house, and it was in front of the rest of the girls. I don't know if Ashley knew she was on speakerphone at the time, but the rest of the girls knew they were not getting an invite. And Tia says it was rude for Ashley to invite just the two of them in front of everyone else. And Ashley's asking Tia, like, what was that about? And Tia was like, well, I just thought it was rude for you to extend an invitation in front of the rest of us and only include the two of them. So I didn't know what that was about, but it wasn't that serious. Like, it was just more of a tongue-in-cheek comment. And Ashley is like, or Keiarna is like, well, what does that mean? Like, what does tongue-in-cheek mean? And Tia tries to explain tongue-in-cheek is more of like, it's not that deep, it's not that serious, like, I wasn't trying to be shady. It was just something that rolled off my tongue. And Ashley is like, well, it's kind of like indirectly being shady. And Tia tries to explain to her, like, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just saying I thought it was rude, but it wasn't that deep to me. And she tries to apologize to Ashley. And Ashley keeps trying to push this whole, like, well, you were being shady. And Tia's like, I already explained to you where I was coming from. I already apologized. Like, you need to keep up. And this gets Ashley all defensive. And she's like, well, you essentially are being shady. So I am keeping up. Like, Ashley, calm down. Like, I don't know where all the theatrics are coming from. She already explained to you where she was coming from. She apologized. What is the big deal? And Tia is over here having the same energy. And she goes back at Ashley like, again, I already told you what the deal was. I already tried to apologize. You need to keep up. And Ashley is still with the same energy. She snaps back at her and she's like, I am keeping up. And just back and forth. And I'm just like, Ashley's getting all defensive for no reason. I do think it was rude that she invited just the two of them in front of them. If you're only going to invite Wendy and Giselle, how about you make sure it's just the two of you guys in the room and invite them? Like, I feel like that was like intentional if you knew that. I mean, I'm sure Giselle told you that they were with the rest of the group. So I just feel like, Ashley, you just wanted to be extra for no reason. So now Jazzy comes in and the girls look real caught off guard. A lot of them look sick to see her, but Wendy's happy and Stacy's happy to see her. So she goes around, says hi to all the girls, sits down, gives them a quick update on her wedding plans, says that her and Darius are in counseling. And I'm just like, already? Like, before the marriage, do you guys have problems that bad to where counseling is needed? I'm like, isn't that telling you something? I don't know. I'm thinking that's more of a red flag if you guys need counseling already. Like, what are the issues? Are the issues the babies that he had while you allegedly got in the middle of the relationship he had with his baby mama? Is that the needing for the counseling? I'm wondering, because that's the only thing that Keiarna keeps bringing up, that he had those two babies. From what I understand, he was in a relationship with the mother of his children, and then Jazzy was the side chick, and then I guess the mother of his kids and him broke up, and that's when Jazzy came in and they had a back and forth, and then he was back and forth with the baby mama. I don't know, that type of scenario we see all the time, but I don't know why they need counseling already. That was interesting. Angel then asks Jazzy what position Darius plays, and then she makes a comment that her husband was a starter for the last 10 years on the team he played at, and Wendy took that as some shade of some sort, and I'm like real confused. I don't know if anyone else was confused as to why that's considered shade. The girls go off to see their races, and as they're over there, Ashley's talking to Keiarna. She's asking her like, are you and Jazzy cool? Because it seems like your body language changed a little bit when she got in the room. And Keiarna says that she heard from Wendy that Jazzy has some sort of underlying issue with Keiarna. The first lady does actually arrive, and Wendy tries to put a pause on the conversation so they can keep it classy, quote, while she was around. And we find out that she actually does not want to be on camera. So we see them go off to the side, like right when the camera cuts off, and they're talking to someone in the crowd, and they say hi, X, Y, and Z, and that's it. And Keiarna's in her confessional like, Wendy's doing all this bragging that the first lady invited her personally, but we only get to see her for like 2.5 seconds. Like, what's that about? And I'm like, who gives a fuck, Keiarna? Like, she's not the main focus of the episode any fucking way. Like, she made an appearance, quote. That's all we really needed to see out of her. Like, what more was she supposed to do? So when Jazzy gets wind that Keiarna feels like Jazzy has some sort of issue with her, she's asking like, where is that information coming from? And Jazzy's asking Wendy like, what did she say to Keiarna about her? So Wendy tries to explain the conversation that her and Jazzy had on the phone when she was asking Jazzy if Keiarna was going to the NAACP event. And I guess the way that Jazzy responded made Wendy feel like she had an issue with Keiarna. And the way that Wendy was explaining, she was like, well, you responded like, yeah. And I'm like, that's the indication you got, Wendy, that there was an issue between the two of them? I don't think so. I'm thinking you're grasping at straws, because what does that indicate? I was confused just like Jazzy was. And Jazzy in her confessional also says it was a stretch for Wendy to say that was meaning they had an issue. And she tells Wendy she's being messy as fuck. Keiarna in her confessional says that she believes Wendy because Wendy says she picked up on an issue, and you don't just pick up on an issue out of nowhere.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Care to expound on what the fuck that even means, Keiarna? Like, clearly, as we're saying, whatever issue Wendy picked up on was not a real issue. So you have issues with Wendy on one hand, but now all of a sudden you believe Wendy, and now you're taking what she says at face value is so fucking confusing. Like, Keiarna is so fucking weird. I don't know why she's on the show once again. Jazzy then seems to want some smoke with Keiarna because she brings up Greg and she goes, I know that you and Greg are going through a lot right now, so I'll just go ahead and give you some grace. And Keiarna takes that as a dig and she goes, I know that you're going through a lot right now with the man that you're marrying that had 2 babies on you. And I was like, ooh, we're getting dirty now. And Jazzy is sitting there with her face cracked. Don't have nothing to say because, I mean, I wouldn't say based off of what we know he had 2 babies on her, but it's still not a good look that you were in the timeline that you were and the babies are so young as they are. It's just not a good look. And Jazzy looks at her and she goes, I'm gonna give you grace, Keiarna. And I'm like, that's all you have to say, Jazzy? You don't have anything else to say? Because, again, you know that your situation, regardless of what the situation is, it's just not a good look. But okay, as Jazzy's walking away from the group, she makes a jab at Keiarna and she goes, the only thing you have with Greg is that small ass condo that he doesn't even pay for. So next. And Keiarna has nothing to say. So I was like, ooh, did she get you there, Keiarna? So now the girls get to the airport, they check their bags, they get into the check-in area, and Giselle lets us know that she gave Jazzy a last-minute invite, so now she's added to the group. And we see on the plane that Keiarna and Stacey are sitting by each other, and that threw me off. I was like, I thought Keiarna didn't want anything to do with Stacey. Now you're cool to sit by her on the plane and not Angel? I'm confused. The girls arrive and it is so beautiful. They actually have to take a boat over there to the island, so they get into the van and they're waiting on Jazzy to come from the back of the plane, and she's taking forever. And then she finally comes out all nonchalant. I'm just like, girl, what the fuck is taking you so long? It seemed like they were in there for like 20, 30 minutes for her to get all her shit, get off, and then get on the van. That shit was so annoying. They get to the waiting area to be transported off to go to the yacht to be able to now go over to the Four Seasons. So they're in the waiting period, the waiting transfer period. And they sit down, they pop open a bottle of champagne. And Giselle tells the girls a little bit about the plans they have for the day. Ashley then asks the group if they have any goals that they want to achieve for the trip. And Angel is the first one to pipe up and she goes, I want this to be an opportunity for all the girls to really get to know me and get to learn me more. Stacey then goes into her confessional and she says that she tried to reach out to Angel to give her the warm welcoming that she didn't get, and she actually got a lukewarm response from Angel. And Stacey just explains she really wants to get a chance to get to know Angel without Keiarna being around. And it does beg the question, like, why is that, Angel? Why did you give Stacey a lukewarm, quote, as she says, response to her genuinely trying to get to know you? The same thing you've been crying about the entire time you've been on the cast. No one is trying to get to know me. No one trying to have the opportunity to be open enough, blah, 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 blah. So now that someone is saying they actually did try to open up to you and try to reach out to you, you don't give that same energy back, but you also cry about not getting it. Like, make that make sense. Giselle tells the girls the trip will also actually double as Jazzy's bachelor party, and the girls are all excited, but I'm thinking, like, if that was me, I wouldn't be so super happy that this trip now all of a sudden last minute is also my bachelor party, because for one, I wasn't even on the original invite list. Jazzy got a last minute invitation, so this is now a last minute bachelor party. Like, I don't want it. Keep it, skip it, because it is rushed. There's no thought into it. And this was not for the bachelorette party. This was for the girls' trip. So, I guess, Giselle. Next. But as the girls are talking, the receptionist comes over to Angel and tells her that there's an issue with her bag because it's camouflage. Get this. We hear from Ashley specifically, the girls were given a very clear as day email telling them that anything camouflage is illegal in that region, in that country, on that island. You can have nothing camouflage. It is illegal. It's against the law. Angel didn't know that. She's over here acting all clueless, getting her phone, trying to look it up, and I'm like, everyone else got the memo but you, Angel. Like, you're too busy being up Keiarna's ass. You're not making sure you're following all the rules like everyone else is. So Tia gets one of her suitcases or one of her bags that's halfway empty for some reason, and they're able to stuff Angel's bag in there so they can go ahead and get things rolling. They start eating a few of the snacks. Out of nowhere, Wendy is asking Stacy if she sucks on balls or she licks or sucks balls, something like that.
What? What the fuck?
Wendy, please. Why are we talking about sucking and licking balls? Like, could we not? Like, skip! Girls now drive over to their yacht to then been taken over to the Four Seasons villas. And as they're getting on the boat, Ashley is popping a bottle of champagne. And she is hoping that the girls are able to have a lot better of a time than the last time they got together at Keiarna's house. Jazzy just adds on to that, saying they're not only celebrating her bachelorette party, they're also celebrating Wendy's birthday, which was a day prior to them going on the trip. And Giselle starts to get messy already. And she says, I'm really glad, Jazzy, you're on the trip, even though some people who shall not be named didn't want you to actually come. And Jazzy's like, oh, who? And all the girls are asking her like, oh, who didn't want her to come? And Giselle finally gets it out that it was Keiarna and Angel that didn't want her to come. And Angel looks all dumbfounded like, what are you talking about? When did I ever tell you I didn't want Jazzy to come? And we get brought back to Preakness, where Tia was asking Giselle if Jazzy was going to be invited on the girls' trip after Jazzy and Keiarna went back and forth. And that's when Angel jumped in and she said that she should invite Charisse instead because they've known each other for a long time. Angel was still acting confused, saying she doesn't remember saying specifically not to invite Jazzy, but she explains that she wanted to invite Charisse because they were already friends for a long time and she doesn't even know who Jazzy is. Keiarna then cuts in and she says, well, I'm not phony or fake. And I was like, pause.
So that was a fucking lie.
Girl, yes the fuck you are. One of the biggest, fakest, phoniest people on the fucking cast. But I guess. And Jazzy cuts her off and she goes, if you're not fake and phony, why don't you tell everyone what you were saying about Wendy? And now Keiarna's like, what did I say about Wendy? What did I say about Wendy? And Wendy is like, yeah, what did she say? And she's asking her like, was this recent or was this like a while ago? And Jazzy was like, it was like 6+ months ago. And Wendy is like, oh. Well, if that's the case, I'd be really hurt if you were talking about me, Keiarna, because we were good around that time. We didn't have any issues. So if there was any issues that you had that you weren't telling me, you were going around talking to everyone else behind my back when we were supposed to be, quote, friends. So this is really showing your true colors. And I'm just like, That kind of gives a different perspective and more context as to this whole thing between Wendy and Keiarna, because it's like, what was really the issue? Like, as Wendy was speculating, she thinks that Keiarna was bringing up all of these issues that she had against her all of a sudden to now cover up for the fact that she had been going around this entire time talking shit about her behind her back, when Wendy says she had never done that to her in this group of girls before. So Wendy is confused, but she's also knowing that Keiarna is actually the one that's a bad friend this whole time, not coming to her directly when there was an issue. So you said you weren't thinking funny, Keiarna, like 5 minutes ago? What do you call that? Yeah, it's getting real suspect over here.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
And Jazzy, in her confessional, she is asked what was said about Wendy, and she just goes on sipping her water, and I'm like, can we normalize just saying what was said instead of trying to do this innocuous, oh, you'll find out later? It's like, can we just say it and be straight up? Because all of this, let's fill in the blanks, we don't know what was said. Like, we need this information for context. Keiarna is doing nothing but deflecting. And she goes, that's why you try to take somebody and teach them a thing. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means, but okay. And then Wendy's asking her, like, are you talking about Jazzy? And Keiarna goes, she's not here right now. And Jazzy calls Keiarna a hoe, saying that she's just mad that she put her on blast. And Keiarna's like, who's a hoe? You're the one that was a side chick. And I was like, she got you again, Jazzy. And Jazzy hits back at Keiarna and she goes, I'm a fiance, something you will never be. And that has Keiarna heated. And she goes, I don't even want to be what you are right now. I was like, This is just gonna go nowhere. Back and forth. You're a side chick. Oh, you don't have a ring. X, Y, and Z. It was going nowhere. Giselle tries to shift the topic a little bit, and she asks Angel if she's okay with Jazzy. And Angel looks at her and she starts stuttering. She's like, oh, well, yeah. And Wendy cuts in and she goes, well, before we continue, let's go ahead and put some attention on something else Angel said. And she brings up the comment Angel said about her husband being a 10-year starter, and Wendy thinking that that was some type of shade. Angel thinks the girls are committed to misunderstanding her, and she tries to explain what she meant when she said that, but she also says that she actually already knew that Jazzy was a wag before meeting her. And she's asked in her confessional by a producer if Jazzy would be considered a wag to a bench warmer, and this has Angel cackling, and she goes, well, every player plays a part. You know, there's different levels and different degrees of an NFL player, but each one of them plays their own important part. And she starts laughing, and I'm like, again, can you explain what you meant by that then? Because by that response, it does indeed sound like it could be some sort of shade. But of course, she's not going to be real and explain that to someone's face. Stacey then asks Angel if she has it in her heart to get to know the girls away from Keiarna, because a lot of them feel like she's up Keiarna's ass and it doesn't make them want to be open to getting to know her, because some people don't want to be around Keiarna right now anyway. And Angel's like, yeah, I really do want to get to know everyone, and I want everyone to be open to getting to know me. And Giselle goes, well, we just don't want to think that you're only here for Keiarna, so... Keiarna goes, well, maybe you guys should just be a little bit more inviting and welcoming. And I'm like, since when have they not been? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? People just don't like you. You are the one that is declassing the show and making everyone just feel annoyed and exhausted the second that the scene even starts. She's doing way too much for a moment, and everyone can clearly see that. Giselle then tries to put a bookmark in the conversation so the girls can go up top, have some drinks, start having some fun, and get away from the drama. And Keiarna... she says, I need to cool off. You know, I'm going to stay down here because when I've met my level of foolishness, I think she says, then I just need a second to cool off away from the group before I rejoin. So as the girls are upstairs having a great time, taking shots, dancing, she's downstairs as a wet blanket, pouting, getting all mad, not having a good time, rolling her eyes, talking about some anyways. And I'm like, ugh, please, yeah. I'm glad you stayed downstairs with all that negativity, and Angel, your lapdog ass friend, stayed down there with you. Like, are you gonna come up here and get to know the girl? This is your opportunity. Like you just said, you want the girls to get to know you. You feel like they're committed to misunderstanding you. These moments right here are the reasons why they do not want to fuck with you, because it's clear you're gonna be up Keiarna's ass the entire time you're on the fucking show. You should be up there with the rest of the girls, having a good old time, getting your groove on, drinking your shots, not down here with your friend that insists on having a bad attitude. Like, please make it make sense. So the girls finally get to their resort. They get into their golf carts to be able to get to the villas. And Giselle brings up a photo she saw of Angel on social media, and it looks nothing like her. Like, they have a side-by-side. They have Tia, and then they have this other girl. I swear, I thought that was Tia's daughter. I was like, who is that other girl? And it took me a second to like click that it was supposed to be Angel. So I was exactly in the same position as fucking Giselle and Ashley, like real confused, like who the fuck is this? But Giselle says that she's gonna bring it up at the dinner, so we're gonna get into that later. The girls finally get to the villas, and again, it is so bomb, it's so nice. Giselle separates the girls into each villa, so it's going to be Giselle and Ashley. She put Wendy, Jazzy, and Stacey together, and then Keiarna and Angel. So everyone goes off to their villa. They all see these personalized notes from Giselle. They all get embroidered pink cute bathrobes and makeup bags, so everyone's all happy about the little gifts they got from Giselle. And we get to Stacey. Giselle is so wrong. She not only didn't put any embroider on Stacey's fucking bathrobe, she has nothing on her bathrobe. It's just a plain ass pink bathrobe, and it was a fucking large. Like, as small as Stacey is, she needs a small. Giselle is fucking petty. That would piss me off. She also, oh my gosh, she not only got a card in her room The card was fucking blank. Like, what was the point of getting the card at all? But she got a card and it was blank, and everyone else got a personalized, cute little message from Giselle. Oh, welcome. I'm glad you came. She got not shit. That had to be so weak. Oh my gosh. But Stacey's in her confessional and she goes, I see you, Giselle. Like, this just lets me know exactly how you feel about me. So, you know, that's fine. But you can tell, like, Stacey's a little bit upset about it. I would be too, because I'm the only one out of everyone that didn't get anything. But she definitely could see where Giselle's coming from now. And in her confessional, Giselle says that she didn't give Stacey anything on her bathrobe or her card because she feels like she doesn't even know who she is. Stacey keeps doing the switch up from last season, this season. She's always lying. So the girls get to dinner. They start ordering their food. And Stacey is asking Keiarna if her and Greg are together still. And she goes, well, we just haven't really talked, so I'm just curious. And Keiarna goes, I mean, yeah, we're still together. And she goes, well, we're in a more cordial place right now. You know, like, we have talked a little bit, you know, when I asked you for gum and you were asking me about Angel, and I was just like, now all of a sudden you guys are cordial, Keiarna? Like, that's what I'm talking about. You're all over the place. Weren't you just in the beginning of the episode getting mad because Stacey's hair was touching your leg and you wanted her to get off of you and stop touching you? Now all of a sudden you're cool to sit by her on the plane and you guys are able to talk, and now you guys are cordial. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Keiarna is a faking phony bitch. Like, please be real. Stacey then says she asked Keiarna how Angel was doing, being more acclimated into the group and how she was feeling. And Angel speaks for herself, and she goes, the best way to get to know me is just to have a conversation with me. And in her confessional, she says she doesn't feel like the girls are as welcoming to her as she would wanted. And she says that she feels she's getting a mixed bag of support. Some girls have reached out to her, but a majority of them haven't. And I'm like, can we talk about the girls that have, though? Can we at least acknowledge that some of the girls, i.e. Stacey, has tried to reach out to you and you essentially declined her efforts? She explained to the group that she's not real talkative or open in the beginning, but over time she starts to open up. So she's trying to open up more to the girls as time goes on, but in the beginning she's real introverted and kind of shy. Tia now tries to get messy, and she makes a point that she has rarely seen Wendy and Angel talk at all, but they were supposed to have gone to school together, so she's trying to get some more details on why that is. And that has Stacey adding on to that, saying it was real uncomfortable between the two of them at Keiarna's house the last time they all got together, after Angel turned on Wendy for no reason. Angel then says she felt like she was being attacked and said that the comment that Wendy was making was real unnecessary. And I'm like, how was it unnecessary? All she did was bring up the comment you made about your friend after everyone is saying how much you're switching up when you're now in front of your friend's face. Wendy does not agree at all, which obviously she's in the right. And she goes, I just feel like this verbiage you're using, attack, X, Y, and Z, you're just trying to use anything you can to try to villainize me and deflect away from you taking accountability for you talking bad about your friend behind her back, instead of saving that for her to her face and confronting her like a real friend does. Giselle then brings up the catfish photo of Angel, and Angel is quick to let everyone know she did not edit the photo, but she just took the photo a long time ago, but it's definitely her. Giselle is skeptical, and she continues to tell Angel, it looks like these are all edited, girl. This looks nothing like you. In her confessional, Angel gets mad that Giselle keeps saying the photos are edited, and she says that Giselle is taking things to the next level. I'm like, that's the next level? Her saying that you edit your photos, Angel? Like, that's all it takes? And then she tries to make a jab at Wendy, and she goes, the girls that were laughing so hard at the table ran to the operating table to get their face changed to a permanent Instagram filter, so they were too insecure when it comes down to their looks. And I was like, oh. Again, you say this type of stuff in the confessional. Why not say that to Wendy's face, Angel? Scary like your friend Keiarna, I see. So as Giselle keeps talking about the photos that are edited, blah, 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 everyone is talking amongst themselves about the edited catfish photos. Wendy is whispering to Stacey, and she goes, do you see why I feel the way I feel about Angel? Do you see how she comes at me differently than she does to everyone else that's also calling her out? And Keiarna peeps that Wendy is talking to Stacey, and she goes, tell everyone, tell the whole group what you're talking about. And Wendy turns to Angel and she goes, I can just tell that your tone with me and your demeanor is a lot different than what it is for Giselle, for example, that's calling you out, telling you that your photos are catfished. And Angel acknowledges that she has a different tone for Wendy, but doesn't explain why there's a different tone. Like, can you explain what you're so mad at Wendy for? You're mad that she called you out on something that you said. She didn't lie on you. I don't understand. Like, you and Keiarna both get mad at everyone else for calling you out, for talking about the things that you talk about behind each other's back. What are you mad at everyone else for? Should you not be mad at each other? Like, this whole friendship that they have is so fucking backwards and weird. And Wendy also brings up the comment that Keiarna made to Angel when she asked her, do you like this lady? When she was asking her about liking Wendy. And Wendy says, it's also clear that you guys have conversations about me and probably about everyone else behind our backs, and we just don't know about it. Angel deflects and she goes, did Keiarna tell me some stuff about you when she was upset and she felt hurt by you? Yeah. And I'm like, that's not answering the question. Like, that's also just you trying to now throw Keiarna under the bus. Like, you guys do the same thing to each other, back and forth, back and forth. This is a fake ass friendship. And Keiarna's just sitting on mute on the side and she finally goes, semantics. And I'm like, what? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you cannot make this shit up. This is in real time showing us how much Bravo dropped the fucking ball trying to find someone else to fill in these spots, because this is all we could come up with. If this is what we got from Keiarna and fucking Angel, please bring someone else back that we already had before. Get Karen back up in here. Get Charisse, even though Charisse is boring as fuck. I know there's more to her than this bullshit. This is just so, like, Keiarna is up here. She has no leg to stand on. She doesn't have any real friends. Clearly, Angel's not her real friend. She threw her under the bus 2 seconds ago, and I'm sure she didn't even catch on that. I'm like, hello? Do you not see what's going on here? Everyone can see how flawed and how fake and phony this friendship is, and I'm glad that it's being put on Front Street. Because, Angel, you want to have this open book for everyone and everyone to welcome you with open arms. This is letting it be known that you're not going to be genuine. You're going to be up Keiarna's ass at the end of the day, regardless of what she says about you, regardless if she said that she would chin check your dumb ass. You're still going to be cool with her in her face. I have your back. After she said all that about you, you still are having her back and you're still not taking having her take any real accountability. So after this, I don't want to hear Angel complain about anything else with the girls not getting to know her. Who gives a fuck, bitch? You already burned that bridge when it comes down to Wendy, and now everyone else can see that when it comes down to having a real, genuine conversation, having an adult conversation, you're not going to do that. You're going to do it behind everyone's back, and then when you're confronted, you're going to deflect and now try to throw someone else under the bus or get mad at that person for trying to call you out. So, case is closed. Next! So now Wendy tries to get messy, and she brings up the fact that Stacey didn't have anything written on her robe, on her makeup bag, and her card was empty. And Stacey goes, yeah, Giselle, like, what's up with that? And Giselle tries to explain to Stacey, like, I just don't know who you are. I just feel like you're not being your authentic self. So I just kind of feel like there wasn't any need to put your name on anything, really. And Stacey tells Giselle that she's a hypocrite because she tries to hold her to this whole different standard. She tries to always hold her accountable when she doesn't hold herself to the same standard and has her own little secret that she never brings to the group. And then that's when she drops her little bomb that Giselle is dating some guy, some former NFL player, forgot his name, who cares? And she throws and then she passes her phone around to everyone to show them the paparazzi photo that they got of Giselle and her quote man. And Giselle is like, okay, like, yeah, I'm seeing him, so what? And now Ashley jumps in and she goes, well, I have a few details of when they met, and she starts giving us some details, and you can see Giselle's look on her face is like, Ashley, shut the fuck up. Like, why are you telling them all of my business? You can know Giselle is not an open book. Giselle does not want anyone to know her business. She'll be all up in your shit, but the second that her stuff comes to light, she's like, next subject. She's deflecting. Now we're talking about something else. And in Ashley's confessional, she says that Stacey should focus more on coming clean on the things that she's been doing versus going and digging into Giselle's business. And Giselle tells the girls, like, just because I go out on a date with somebody that is not me, that's my boyfriend. But she confirms, like, yeah, we're dating. That's not a secret. So again, Stacey, your little bomb flopped. Ashley then tries to segue to dropping her own little bomb about Stacey, and she asked the group, so has everyone dated a NFL player? Like, raise your hand who hasn't, blah, blah, blah. And she now goes, oh, Stacey, it's real interesting you're not raising your hand. And Stacey is fixing her hair and Stacey is too busy fixing her hair and her phone to listen. And she goes, wait, what? And she goes, have you dated an NFL player? And Ashley tries to drop a clue and she goes, well, I heard through the streets, allegedly, you were trying to talk to a former NFL player that was on the Redskins. And now Wendy is like screaming, squelching. And I'm like, what are you screaming for, Wendy? Shut the fuck up. And now Jazzy speculates. And now Jazzy is guessing that it's Chris Samuels. And now we get the to be continued. And now it's black screen. The episode's done with. And I'm just like, that was the ending that we got. That was it. That's where you guys ended it off. And we don't even get a sneak peek until the next episode. So I feel like that ending was a flop. But overall, I feel like the episode was jam-packed with some more juicy drama. I feel like we got even more insight to how much of a fake-ass phony bitch that Keiarna is, and Angel. And we just get more details as to why we should just disregard them for the rest of the season. I don't know why they're on the show. They are declassing the show for the third time, I'm saying in this video. But let me know your thoughts about the episode in the comments down below. If you did like the video, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!